Fights reportedly break out after Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Jim Ross thinks it's possible Shane McMahon could join All Elite Wrestling, and WWE have scrapped an announced Monday Night Raw match. Stay tuned, it's time for the news. So in case you missed it, at Clash at the Castle, Scotland, Drew McIntyre, who is from Scotland, was screwed by CM Punk. You all know what happened. We're not going to bother recapping it. According to a new report, fans not very happy about this, which led to fighting outside the venue.
I can't believe it. So yeah, from SES Scoops.
I can, it's Scotland.
They say the sour mood spilled over from inside the arena to outside, with fans allegedly fighting as they exited the building. There were many fans shouting and swearing once outside the arena, with a conclusion to the show described as having put a dampener on the excitement of the previous 2 days.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really, really happy about that. The fact that like people were so emotionally invested in what was going on that they decided to smack each other about. It's great, isn't it? Wrestling's back.
Wrestling's back, everybody. I don't just. To me, but I mean, obviously, people there passionate about wrestling. People there passionate about the fact that Drew McIntyre, one of their own, could potentially do it. He didn't, and that led to fights. I think the fighting part is a bit daft. The passion is,
The fighting part's great.
The fighting part's I'm only having you.
What's really funny is that, like, when CM Punk screwed him, all the fans were there around him going,
that was the thing, wasn't it? I was like, oh my God, not a chance. And then, they were just all grabbing him going, CM Punk.
That's the one thing that I'd have changed about it, maybe, is that it could have been maybe a bit cleaner, maybe, if CM Punk had just hightailed it out of there. But
I like it.
No, so do I.
Like it because now he can use that
there.
as fodder, can't he, against Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, that's true.
I understand where you're coming from though too, but like this whole feud, it always feels like, oh well, you know, Drew could do the Money in the Bank thing, or like Punk could screw Drew. Like there's so many different avenues it could go down. All of them I really like so far. It's
brilliant, isn't it? I think it's the most invested that I've been in like a non-title feud in WWE in some time. Yeah. It's electric, and I can't wait to see the match. It's going to be.
I thought you were going to say more fighting.
And more fighting as well. Now, obviously, they shouldn't be fighting outside. No. But it's funny, isn't it? Moving on, we're going over to AEW now, and Jim Ross has been speaking on the possibility of Shane McMahon joining AEW, chatting away on Grilling JR.
Yeah, he said, it's so crazy.
Do the voice.
I'm not going to do that voice. I thought for a second there in my head, it was like, oh, no, I won't do the voice. He said, it's so crazy that it might work, depending on how it was positioned and how it was introduced. Shane called me the other day. He's called me 2 or 3 times, which I really appreciate. He's always been sensitive in that respect.
Important just to point out there that he's calling to check on JR. He's been through numerous health bits recently. Obviously, we send our best to JR. JR is not involved in the hiring of talent or anything, as he previously was in WWE.
Yeah, JR goes on to say, that's only a question that Shane could answer. Shane and Tony Khan being together, how would that work creatively? Heck, who knows? Might be great, but in any event, that all depends on Shane and what he wants to do.
Never say never in wrestling. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like a 1% chance, because I think he'd probably be disowned by his old man, right? Yes. But you never know in pro wrestling. There is literally nothing I really want to see Shane McMahon do in wrestling anymore. But seeing a McMahon in a rival company is just bonkers, isn't it?
That's always the thing.
Like, if that could happen, just massive.
I think you're right. I guess that is the thing, isn't it? I mean, like you said, just a McMahon being in the other company, I feel like everybody would want to, you know, or at least would like to see that in some capacity, just to see what would happen.
The eyes that it would draw to that product would be bonkers. I think 1% chance is probably being quite generous there, but you never know. You never know.
That's it.
And you've already got some good wrestlers in there. You know, you got Claudio, you got Bryan Danielson. Yep. To get the best in the world in there,
he's got a cup to prove it. He has the cup to prove it.
Get the 0-1 too. Let's do it.
It's not going to happen.
We'll see. JR also addressing a potential potential future WWE return. Obviously, he's contracted to AEW, but he did say on the podcast as well, you can never say never. Quite frankly, you can never say never, especially in a business that has so few jobs available. That's not in my plans. They've gone younger, speaking specifically about the announced teams. Obviously, like the commentary teams are now, they're a lot younger than JR.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. So I could see him at some point coming back for like a one-off, calling like a classic match or something like that, a big Mania match. If Austin would have come back.
I was about to say.
If he could join the commentary desk for that, something like that. If he's available full-time, certainly not. But JR, obviously, like the tremendous mind of wrestling. He's done so much. He's not just a man who's behind the commentary desk and like with a mic in his hand. He's done like talent relations before. I don't know if he'd want to do something like that again, but it couldn't be too difficult to find something to do with JR, could it?
No, I think, there he says, they've gone younger in terms of getting other people on the commentary desk. I think he'd be great, even if he's not on the desk itself, if he's just there giving tips and pointers to people too, like
pre-show panel, like do the analysis, something like that. You can find something to do with it. Obviously, people like he's divided people in recent years because he's not the JR of old, but I still think he has value.
Me too.
And not value as a performer as well as like name value. He could get some maybe lapsed Attitude fans watching, Attitude Era fans watching again, because he was such an integral part of all of that. Sticking with AEW now, got a bit of a return update on one Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, so according to a new report by Fightful Select, the former AEW World Champion is not, as of this past weekend, scheduled to appear on this week's edition of Dynamite.
A lot of people saying he'd be there because it's Virginia.
There was a lot of speculation Page might be there since it's taking place near his home in Virginia. A previous report indicated that he would be returning soon, likely within the next month. He's been absent from AEW obviously since his match at Revolution that he had with Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. He struck 2 referees and then got suspended by the Young Bucks and kayfabe, and we haven't seen him since. So I'm interested to see what happens when he comes back. Obviously, we've got this Blood and Guts match coming up next month. The Young Bucks looking for a 5th member. Swerve Strickland looking to at least bolster some sort of team together.
Could go either way there, couldn't it? He could join either side. I know they suspended him everything, but who knows? The fact that they don't want to bring him back near his hometown, right? Makes me think that they don't want that big babyface pop necessarily, so they want him to do something horrific when he comes back and like be a heel. He had a couple of referees. How dare he?
I mean, that's it. I guess like I can see him on either side. Obviously, that sounds a bit silly regarding all the stuff that him and Shane Strickland have done. Swerve Strickland, have done. In terms of like the drinking the blood and all, and how violent the matches and stuff.
He's got beef with either side, but I guess the bigger beef is with Shane.
But I guess then you're like, ooh.
McMahon. Swerve.
I guess that's the thing as well. It's like, will he'll go there, maybe he'll turn. It's really interesting. I want to see a heel Hangman Page, personally.
I really, really love him as a babyface.
Yeah.
I find it difficult to hate Hangman because I just find him really likable. I like everything about him. I love his presentation. I love the gimmick. I find him just very endearing.
He is,
but he's a great heel. We know he can be a great heel. Time will tell, but maybe don't expect to see him this week. But again, never say never. It's wrestling. Make your own minds up. WWE scrapped an announced Raw match. Last night, WWE made 2 match announcements for tonight's episode of Raw. Dragon Lee versus Carlito and Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross. However, it looks like plans maybe have changed regarding one of those matches, as the tweet announcing Xavier versus Karrion has been deleted by WWE. So Xavier quote retweeted it, did a little fun TNA reference and everything, crossed the line with a K. But the quoted tweet is gone. WWE have deleted that, so that's not there anymore. So it looks like maybe that match is off. Obviously, there's a lot to squeeze into tonight's show. Following Clash, you can expect to see Drew McIntyre getting very angry and fighting people, maybe. And Alpha Academy, something with them. Chad Gable, obviously, following the loss to Sami Zayn on Saturday night as well. So you've got that to squeeze in. Plus, the Money in the Bank qualifying matches start tonight as well. So there's quite a lot to pack in, and maybe they've just gone, maybe we can do that another time. I don't know.
I mean, which, again, is, I guess, for some people it might not be a shame, but I guess they're trying to do some sort of storyline stuff. And
They're
it feels
trying,
like
aren't they?
we need to get invested rather than just seeing these things like his promos play out on WWE.com or on the YouTube channel for Karrion Kross. I feel like it needs to be on TV more definitively and more frequently as well. To like finally sort of get us invested in that character.
It's not going to happen. I've given up, to be honest. It sounds horrible because I think he's a really decent wrestler.
Yeah.
And I like his promos. I like his delivery anyway. I think they've absolutely cacked the bed on him. I really
Fumbled
do.
it, eh?
Yeah, they have. And like they're trying to make it work. They're putting it all, like giving it all to their like social media stuff, and as you say, the WWE.com exclusive promos and that. People just aren't fussed. So if you're going to take a match away, that's probably the one that's gone. But maybe it'll get re-announced. Who knows? Time will tell. That's it from us. By the way, if you want a little bit more on those fights outside WWE Clash at the Castle, if you want to see some of that anger, then there is a video in the end card, which is here right now. I don't know which way to point, never do this. Right now, which you can click. Jack interviewing some very, very angry wrestling fans outside the venue. Is potentially the most chaotic video that we've ever done. So check it out and see some of that anger for yourself firsthand. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in a bit.